Hello. Welcome.
We've hacked the mainframe.
We're in.
We're in. You do it. I'm tired.
Welcome to the Prickly Stitch Podcast.
Soft-spoken knitting podcast.
We are a fiber, fabric, and handcraft podcast coming to you from Northeast PA. I am Sock, or KB. You can find me on the internet as Misfit Sock.
I am Locknitz. My God-given name is Haley. What else? That's it.
That's it. We're here.
We're here.
It's been a long time.
There's a Instagram account for this podcast. If this is your jam, you can follow us over there. It is at Prickly Stitch Podcast on Instagram. And we were gone for a hot minute. Has it been a month?
Probably about. It was definitely like early May the last time we checked in.
Mm-hmm. We did the Moon and Yarn craft room grand opening. Oh, also this podcast is sponsored by the Moon and Yarn craft room in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
We are representatives
of
the homeland.
Spokespeople, if you will. Spokesclowns.
Spokesclowns.
Yeah.
Honk honk.
Honk. We got so much stuff from Brienne's grand opening. If you are following us on any social media platform at all, you will probably have seen so many cutie pie photos of us and all of our yarn people that were there. It was so nice to see everybody. It was really a blast.
It was like an explosive turnout.
Like line out the door literally all day. We barely saw Brienne. We basically just stood around drinking champagne, eating cookies, and telling people where the bathroom was.
Oh dear.
Which is fine, you know?
It was crazy, like to the point where we had to sit outside.
At one point we had a knitting circle, but it was like just a line of like young people knitting, and Brienne's stepdad was out there like just telling us stories and like doing this and like doing just Daryl stuff, you know? It was so funny. But yeah, it was a great time.
It was a real blast, a hoot and a holler.
Hoot and a holler. So, we just got back from that. Did we do anything else? That was pretty much it in the meantime, right?
Yeah, I think like you were away, and then we had that going on.
I went to the wedding.
Wedding.
Yeah, but we have like gotten a lot of knitting done. We've gotten a lot of stash acquisitions.
A lot of weird little things to talk about today.
Weird little things, some good finished objects, and a brief history of doilies that I'm going to share today. And I'll talk more about that as I explain myself, because that probably sounds insane.
It's going to be a little variety hour.
It's going to be a little variety hour. And then after this, we're going to eat an entire like table of charcuterie, and we're going to have a little champagne and do some yarn spinning.
Yes.
Which is always fun. So finished objects, yes?
Yes.
Maybe I start?
You start.
Well, but finished objects, also what we're wearing.
What we're wearing.
Because we both
have some stuff to talk about.
Some stuff to talk about.
We didn't prep at all for what order we're going to do all of this in, so it's going to be chaotic, and you're going to love it.
We're also podcasting like 2.5 hours behind schedule, which is fine because we're not on a schedule, but 2.5 hours later than we're used to. So everything just feels kind of off. It's all fluid.
I feel very like docile right now, and I'm usually not.
It's the birds chirping outside of my apartment. Cherry blossoms. Okay. What am I wearing?
What are you wearing?
I finished the, can't see. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you soon.
Goodbye. I'm wearing the Mount Pleasant tee, which I finished on this silly little chair. I want to show some of this lace portion off here.
Very nice.
This is one of my seemingly many entries into the Fresh Fiber Make Along. I don't know if you can see the back, but it's heckin' cropped. Just a little guy. One of my entries into the Fresh Fiber Make Along, which is our make along that we're hosting, and we've talked enough about it, so I'm not going to explain what it is anymore. But this was my first time using linen yarn, and I've had this yarn in my stash for quite some time. It is Lewitt Euroflax wet spun linen. It was just in like the colorway black. I've actually like looked into buying more of this particular yarn, and all of their colorways are like pretty straightforward. It's like a commercial yarn, but I had 2 skeins of the black linen and did my little gauge swatch and everything, talked about like the starting couple of rows on the last episode, and I have since finished it.
It's gorgeous.
Finished it, blocked it, give it a touch, give it a feel. What do you think?
Very nice.
I love it. It feels so like next to skin comfortable. It's easy to wear. I've worn this more times in public than I wore that DRK everyday sweater I knit 3 years ago.
Wow.
In the last like 3 weeks since this has been blocked.
Give us a full review on your thoughts post knitting it and now that it is a finished object. Like, is it softening up every time you wear it? Has it kind of peaked where it's at? Has it grown? Like, give us all of it.
I think it's peaked in terms of like softness. I am due for another wash. Of this, probably since I've worn it like 3 times. Now I'm just gonna give it like a quick little soak again, and I'll see if it softens up anymore. It seems like it doesn't have memory the way that like wool does, you know what I mean? But when I put it on and like take it off and everything, it doesn't stretch out, it doesn't move, it doesn't like shift at all. Like, it feels very drapey, and I like that the way the fabric is like blocked out and everything. But you know how like superwash will just continue to like drape and drape and drape until like it's sagging all over? This is not doing that literally at all with wear. Right. And I've worn this every day that I've worn this in public. I'm doing something from like the start of the day to the end of the day. It's not like I'm like putzing around in this for like an hour. I've worn this for like probably 36 hours at this point. It's really nice. Like, really nice.
Let me look on your sides where the arms rub. That's nice. Not a ding-dang bit of damage or wear or anything. Not to like get up in your secret spots, but like that's the first place to go. I mean, even on this normal store-bought shirt, like that's the first spot to pill on me, is where the arms rub.
No, nothing even resembling like pilling or wear or anything. There's a 3-needle bind off. I actually felt the 3-needle bind off yesterday, like while I was out and about, because when I did it before I blocked it, it seemed really like stiff, and like there was a pretty significant ridge from doing the 3-needle bind off, like that I thought was gonna rub on my shoulder. That's completely smoothed out. There's like no...
That seam looks really nice. I was looking at it like before when you started talking.
All of this stuff like blocked out really nicely. This doesn't feel weird like in my armpits, because it is a really, really fitted shirt. The fiber and fabric and stuff doesn't feel weird or like bunchy in my armpits at all. I love how wide the shoulders are. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what kind of sleeve this would be, because you like do the front and back pick up, and there's like like this much ribbing.
Don't they call that a cap sleeve?
No, but I mean like the shoulder construction. If I picked up the
like
stitches,
how wide that is, how it's not like just like an inch long piece.
Yeah, exactly. This was just absolutely lovely. It's really, really cropped, I will say. Like, if you don't want it to be insanely cropped, plan on buying some extra yarn for that. But if you want it with like a high-waisted skirt, it's perfect for that.
And you made that skirt too.
And I made my skirt. Yeah, this is my black hand-sewn skirt.
Very nice.
Handmade outfit.
I'm glad you're very happy with it.
Very happy. I will absolutely be buying more of like this yarn specifically. I will knit with linen again.
You've been into the linen, because when we were at Brienne's, you were like locking your eyes in on
because I had
some items there.
Yeah, I was wearing this when we did Brienne's grand opening, and we had a couple hours of like walking around and stuff, and I was like, oh, I do want more linen. Like, this is one of the most, like, I've been knitting for 17 years, and this is the first garment I've ever made that I'm not like acutely aware of being on my body. You know what I mean?
Hot that day. It was
hotter
like
than shit.
Uncomfortably hot.
Yep. So I would say a lifelong linen fan. I'm looking into getting more of it and getting more of, like I said, that brand specifically that I used. It was fantastic. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing, and I could not be more proud of it.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Haley-Ann just cast on a Mount Pleasant tee.
Oh,
After she saw this one, that's that
the
yellow.
yellow thing she's working on?
She's making like a dandelion yellow color from the Mojave yarn that she got from Breeze.
That's so sweet.
Very nice. But
beautiful.
What about you?
What am I wearing?
What is she wearing?
Who is she? Are we tired of hearing about the Stria cardigan? Well, you better be, because it's done. You can't see it.
You can't see it, but she's being
backing up. Backing up.
Oh, they're gonna look at your bike shorts.
Don't look at my bike shorts. They're my business.
That's proprietary.
So this is my finished Stria cardigan by Andrea Mowry. Let's get the sleeves in here.
Do you know when this pattern was published? Last year?
Not off the top of my head. I could check if we want to know. Do we want to know?
No, I was just thinking about, you know, like how many people have finished this versus like how long it's been out. You know, just thinking about that based on your...
Well, for me in particular, I started this on January 1st, 2023. It was my New Year's cast on. And I finished it yesterday on 5/4/23. So it took me 5 months. That being said, I knit a sweater and a cowl, a bunch of socks, and a hat. Like, I knit stuff in between. It wasn't the only thing I was working on.
But even if you hadn't worked on all that other stuff, you maybe would have shaved like 1 month off of that. Like, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, so I could do a sleeve in a week. And then I did the body in a week. Because it wasn't done. I had just picked up the body when we had come back from Pittsburgh.
Right.
Last time you guys saw it, I had one sleeve and to the underarms finished. I had hurt myself trying to complete it. What is there to say about this pattern? So it's meant to be knit on US size 2s with fingering weight yarn. I chose to knit it on a US size 3 for my own reasons. I do think that the gauge is different. Obviously, it's a lot looser, but I'm not displeased with how it worked out. It's very like soft and squishy and drapey garment. Finished fabric. I have a love-hate with the superwash thing. I personally just don't think superwash fingering weight yarn is meant to do anything that has to support like buttons.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a stable enough material to create a fabric that would hold them really well. This called for 6 buttons that I had intended to put onto it, and I went through that whole process yesterday of sewing on all the buttons and trying to make them lay flush, and it just looked very sloppy. So I ended up taking them off. I will insert some pictures of different things I did with this cardigan to try to make it a little bit more finished and nice. The first picture I will throw in is of this inner seam where I had picked up my stitches for the button band and it left a lip where the selvage edge was, which was fine, but it was causing it to flip out like this. You'll see in the picture. And then on the opposite side, you'll see that it's laying flat. That's because I went through with just a darning needle and some yarn and just tacked that down. I don't know if you can really see how that's like a nice flush edge because I tacked that down. And it's causing it to lay very flat and nice, so I would definitely consider doing that again in the future if a pattern, you know, called for it for like an afterthought button band. I would leave a little extra fabric and then take the extra hour to tack it down. What else did I do? The next thing I'll show is the picture of the buttons sitting on this garment, and you'll see why I chose to take them off. It is just sitting way too low, which I think is a combination of where the buttonholes are placed and the fact that the yarn has loosened and dragged down. This hasn't been properly wet blocked yet. I did steam it quickly yesterday because I knew I wanted to wear it for the podcast, and it opened up some places and just hasn't been like evenly stretched at this point. I don't know what else is there to say about it. I'm very glad that it's done. I wouldn't recommend this for somebody who wants like an instantly gratifying project. It was very tedious. It was not hard at all. It wasn't like a difficult stitch pattern, but you know, you're working with small needles, thin yarn, and you're doing like the same repetitive thing over and over and over again.
Plus with stripes.
Plus with stripes. And this, I chose to do 2 colors. I chose to just do the main color, which is by Lichen and Lace in the color Black Walnut. And the black stripe is Cascade 220. And the pattern called for like 5 different colors for stripes. So if you're doing that, you have to think of how much changing of yarn you're doing and ends you're leaving and all of that jazz, where I just was able to carry that stripe color through the whole process.
Definitely more of a product knit, do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I love the way that this turned out. It's oversized, it's soft, it's squishy. You said it looked very fashionable.
Yeah, you look like a teen on TikTok.
I'm hip. You know, I'm in my oversized, like, I love it in this brown too. It kind of feels like I stole like an older gentleman's sweater, but I just, it's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be cropped.
I thought so too.
It's not.
Oh my god, excuse me, I'm just worn out.
When I took it off the needles, I was ready for it to be a little on the short side, but I believed in myself that this was going to pull down, because every time I have ever knit with a superwash yarn, it has grown exponentially.
You're Mary Superwash now.
I'm Mary Superwash?
I'm just joking, because you're wearing
Me?
Superwash. Me?
But that purple sweater that we did the over dye on, that was also something I was afraid was going to be too short, and then I washed it and it went like a spaghetti noodle.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it. It's a very hot summer day, and I'm very comfortable wearing it. I'm glad it's over. That chapter of my life is closed.
Books closed on this chapter.
And we're done talking about it.
I don't talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. I was just determined to finish it. I didn't want to have to talk about it today, and then the next time, and the next time.
Well, you were also like saving yourself for another cast on.
I didn't want to make anything else until this was done, was the moral of the story. I just wanted to get it over with. And it's over with. I wish, the only like major gripe I have, aside from the buttons not working out, no big deal, whatever, I will just keep that in mind, knitting other projects in the future. Love this how it is. I don't like the shoulders. And this is also, I think, a problem with gauge and material, that it all just went.
Yeah.
And they, I don't know, it's just like, they sit very, you know, I don't love that. But
there's ways to fix that. Add a crochet edge to it. Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry. You can crochet around the top back part, just like one slip stitch, and just like what you did for your
that same sweater that noodled out. That's not a bad idea. I might have to do that.
Because you can just unpick it. It's very, you know, just rip it back if it doesn't work, whatever.
Yeah, I may have to try that, but I'm excited to go home and block this. That's all I have to say about it. It's done.
We're done.
I'm glad you're all here to perceive it. Write me an email if this pattern is also making you lost.
Yeah.
On this planet.
Honestly. Yeah.
The end.
Okay.
Alright, episode's over. Go home.
Go home. That's what we're wearing.
That's it. That's our fits.
That's the fits.
Keep the fit. What else have you finished working on?
I finished a couple of things. The first one, we're gonna like take a picture of and like put it into the thing right here. I have been on a doily kick. I don't know why. I don't really know like how it started, why it came from, like why it started like right now. I learned to knit dishcloths, and I knit exclusively dishcloths for almost 10 years, and I was just fine with that. I was like content that that's where my life was headed, and I still knit them a lot, just in between projects and stuff, but I just don't share them on the podcast because they're just dishcloths. But I think that dishcloths are like a gateway to doily knitting as an adult. That's my hot take for the day. So I don't know what possessed me, but oh, I have one right here. I can show you. It's blending in with the table. I knit using the leftover linen from this shirt and I still have a bunch of it left over, so I didn't even use that much of it. I made this. Oh my goodness, how beautiful is that? Yeah, you can totally tell like what's happening. It's a star.
It's so beautiful.
It's really pretty. Little crochet edge, so it's knitting and crochet combined. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I can tell you what it's called in a moment. But I made that little guy. Oh god, how do I say this? Flake-on? I don't know.
We'll post it. We'll
put it. This is what the listing looks like. Here, have a look-see. There you go. This is what it looks like on Ravelry. Here you go. It is just a free project. It's on like some old lady's website or whatever, but it was just something quick and fun to do. I made it in like an evening, and I've made like intricate like lacework stuff like this, just usually on a really small scale with really crappy like dishcloth yarn or something. I've never made anything like super decorative like this with like such a high quality. Look at that.
It's beautiful.
It's really nice. With such a high quality yarn and linen, dear God, like look at that stitch definition, you know? It's just so nice.
Beautiful choice for that project.
So I made this and sort of had an epiphany of like, wow, that wasn't hard literally at all. So that happened, and then I made a choice to make another one. So for a reference, this is like 30 or 32 rounds, which is how, you know, you finish it in an evening or an afternoon, and you're like, haha, that was nice. So I showed Sock a picture of that. She says, wow, that's gorgeous. I would love to have one. And I said, I'll be happy to make you one. That's totally fine. So I made this monstrosity that we will insert a photo of here.
Also with something for scale next to it.
Yeah. I do think it's at least 2.5 feet wide. Right? If that's a foot, each one of those blocks is a foot.
Each one of those blocks is a foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a firm 2 with some extra.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
firm 2 then.
So I knit that with fingering weight yarn. The pattern called for like typical, what is it called? Like crochet cotton, I guess, is what everybody makes doilies and shit out of. But I don't have any of that. I do have some of that, but it's just plain white. And I just thought that I would like use something a little more interesting for something going in your house. I did not know that, you know, this pattern was 100 rounds. The other one was 30. And I'm like, oh, that's not that different. It's very different.
It's very different.
It's very different.
Kicked up real fast.
Kicked up real fast, yes. So this pattern on Ravelry, funny enough, is called Doily with Spiral. Very riveting.
Very riveting info.
Here is the listing on Ravelry, because again, it is free. You can totally find it. Beautiful. It's gorgeous, like absolutely stunning. There's a pink one on here that is just so, this one, so pretty. I'm gonna zoom in on it. Like, look at that. This makes me want a pink doily for the shop for my station.
Yeah.
But like, just absolutely beautiful. I don't think that the photos that I'm gonna have inserted here into the podcast will do it justice, because it is a medium warm toned like gray color. It's a bamboo merino blend or something. It was just like one of those random skeins that you gave to me.
Oh, it was BFL and bamboo.
BFL and bamboo. I used probably about, I would say, like 500 yards for it. So it was a nice stash buster. Nice to like move through some of that fingering weight yarn a little bit. I absolutely will be making more doilies.
What a fun way to live.
There's just like something so like satisfying about them. It kind of feels like potato chippy, and I feel like people describe color work that way all the time, and like I don't really necessarily feel that way about color work, but I totally feel that way about lace. And there's something too, like once you've knit, you know, one row of lace that takes you like 30 minutes to do that one row, and the next round after that you have to resolve all the stitches and you just knit. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice little like,
I just need to look at her. She's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
The pooling really lends itself to the spiral thing.
I hate the pooling.
Really?
I can't stand it. So that was something I actually wanted to make a point and say, if you are not a fan of pooling, I usually don't care, but I also knit like goofball stuff. Like socks, who gives a shit? Hat,
Right.
whatever. Like, it doesn't matter to me. This is like, I will never ever knit with just like indie dyed fingering weight yarn for something like this scale ever again.
That is very subtle, and I think it's okay. I could see how anything that's like more of a like intricate color being a problem for a doily.
Yeah, that's like the absolute maximum.
Right.
And even too, if you're doing something like on this scale with indie dyed yarn, like,
Don't.
give doily knitting a try with some like scraps you have. Like, don't go out and buy like crochet cotton because you want to like make something nice. Just, it'll take you an evening. Just do it. You know what I mean? But now that I know, and I should have known like how that was going to pull up and everything, but I just didn't even think about it.
I love it. I think it looks like it's sucking you in, or like a hurricane. Like, throw it over a map. You know? Because it just goes with the pattern. I think it looks very nice. I think it's cool. I think it's neat.
As long as you like it, doesn't matter what I think, you know what I mean?
think it's neat.
But I definitely am going to go out and buy some more like cotton thread. I have lace weight yarn, but it's like 100% merino, and it's really soft and nice, and I want to like pair it with something else, like for a garment or whatever. So I won't use it for something like that, but yeah, just a totally fun adventure. It's really nice to like not have to worry about gauge and not have to worry about fit, and like just, you know, make something that you're like, however this goes is how it goes.
Sometimes you need that.
Whatever. I think I want to make a doily and enter it into the Bloomsburg Fair.
That'd be sweet. That I think is a good idea.
The project pictures inspired me on the spiral doily page because someone took a photo of it. It had won first prize at their county fair, and I loved that, and I thought it was very special.
Well, you better, it's coming in hot. You better get going on your...
That took me like 6 days.
Don't you want to be the queen of the Bloomsburg Fair?
I
They're going to put your face on a jug.
I am the queen of the Bloomsburg Fair. Anyway, yeah, that's my plan. Do you want to know a little bit about doilies?
Tell us everything about doilies.
Okay, if this doesn't interest you, that's very valid,
It's
honestly.
Our history section.
History section. But I thought it's been so nice that you've been like telling us a little bit about, you know, the sheep breeds, the fleece, how they feel, what they're used for, like all that stuff. And I was genuinely interested about doily history, because like, what the hell does it all mean, you know?
Give it to us.
So, high points, the doilies have been around since the 16th century. They were invented by a guy whose last name was Doily. Hilarious.
The doilies.
He was a cloth merchant named Doily, and he sold openwork textiles. So if you've ever seen, like, openwork is different from what we think of as a doily. Openwork is like a fabric with holes cut in it, and then you know how around a buttonhole, like you would go in and seam like around the edges of it so it doesn't fray. That's like openwork, like on the edges of tablecloths, napkins, stuff like that. So doilies became a product of the Victorian era when cotton thread became industrially produced, and then in 1844 cotton was mercerized, so it made it like sleeker, stronger, and then it became like even more popular from then. So doily making was a technique that nuns taught to impoverished women during the Irish famine of 1846.
Very nice.
This gave the woman a sellable product that might have kept them and their families from starving. Small crochet textiles could be made relatively quickly, and the resulting open work pieces, often working cotton, were touted as a sort of inexpensive lace. And then, you know, the deeper history is that these originally started as something that only like very wealthy people had, then they made their way into like upper middle class, blah blah blah. Now you can buy fucking paper doilies on Amazon that are disposable, you know what I mean? But I think it's fascinating that there's like not that much to them. Like They didn't serve any purpose. They're just decorative.
Right.
The patterns don't mean anything. Like, I kind of love how, like, whatever.
I have always wondered, like, did they ever serve a utilitarian purpose? No. And I love that they haven't.
I would say I will correct myself, because thinking about, like, even that one that I just made for you, probably their most utilitarian purpose is just that they will keep your table from being scuffed by, like, a lamp. So, like, if you think about people, like, put them under a bowl or a lamp or, like, something that you're serving or whatever, which makes perfect sense if you think about any other era in human history where we didn't just, like, throw something away the minute that it got damaged. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, you're getting one table for your whole life.
Right. That's your table.
Yes. Maybe it'll be your children's table, too.
But, yeah.
That was a great little Mr. Doily.
The history is that there's not that much history. And I just love that. And a lot of the articles I was reading, too, were being written, like, in the last few years. Actually, the main one that I got, like, dates and specific things from was written, like, 2 weeks ago. And it was about how doilies are making a comeback in, like, modern times and everything, which I think is very special. And I also, like, feel that way. I feel drawn to it. But I think my gateway was, like, really the lace work at the bottom of this top. And then I saw, like, how pretty the lace was in linen. Then I decided to make that, and then I decided to make the bigger one, and now I'm, like, totally
county fair, and
now I'm gonna end with the fucking county fair. Yeah, exactly.
It's got me thinking, just all this doily talk about.
All this doily talk.
He had a big one, like that one that you just made, and it was made out of, like, actual wool. And you know how in, like, I don't know, like the 70s, they would throw, like, a scarf over a lamp to, like, dim the room.
Yeah.
And, like, wool's kind of, you know, flame retardant, so you wouldn't burn your house down.
Yeah. There's that pattern specifically of the doily that I just made for you. Someone made it out of, like, acrylic. It came out blanket sized, and they gave it to, like, their daughter-in-law. And there's a picture of, like, a little lady, like, all curled up on
really sweet. Yeah, just size up. Go nuts.
Seriously. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a little tale about how I've been spending my time. I was actually late to a tattoo appointment I had because I was knitting a doily, which I'm sure is a very normal problem for a modern woman.
Yeah.
But
sorry I'm late working on my doily.
Do you have any other FOs?
I don't have anything else finished. I have just been really trying to get this done and get my spirit pure and free again. Get the demon out. Yeah.
I have a silly little hand-spun project.
It's
been a minute.
Oh, I love that.
Do you?
I love that a lot.
I thought it turned out okay. So, like, not everything's a banger, and that's fine. I have... Thank you. I have a bin, like one of those cube shelves, and then there's little bins inside the shelf. Sorry about your... Do you want to close the window?
No, I like it.
Okay.
Feels good.
Just like, ooh, cherry blossoms.
I just like a breeze, you know?
Yeah. I have a bin that serves no other purpose than, like, collecting finished objects that I've made that, like, I don't want to do anything for myself. I just, like, put them in there, and then around the holidays I, like, pull them out and use them as gifts, or, like, if I'm going to see someone, like, just take them a little, like, gift or something, like, whatever. But I, like, make stuff, and then I say, it's going to the bin. So this went to the bin. I had to fish it out of the bin, but I finished this. Oh, it looks cute from, like, back here, you know?
I think the colors are really great because it's, like, such a, like, sharp green and a blue-gray. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you. So, this is 100% hand-spun yarn of mine. These colorways... No, oh my god. I did not spin this green yarn. Don't buy my bullshit. I did not spin that. Megan, who's Rainbow Cake Cat, a very, very dear friend of mine, spun that and gave it to me many years ago, and it's just been sitting in my stash. And then I spun it's like a purple and some light, kind of gray, kind of purple, like main color, and then just did some fancy funky color work using the Tin Can Knits anthology book pattern, where you can, like, mix and match your own color work patterns, you know, for, like, hats and cowls and stuff. So I was just very curious to see how this would translate on hand-spun yarn. I think it's okay. Definitely seems like something that's going to end up in Henry's closet, you know. Henry just turned 4, so he doesn't need to like make huge fashion statements or anything. I did put one of my little lock knits tags on there. They're old. My little sister got them for me. They're so cute. Love my little tags. But yeah, just a little hat for the bin, but I love a good excuse for a little pom-pom, honey.
Yeah. Look at, you can barely see that pom-pom in the...
It's completely blowing out.
Trying to block the sun from it, but
yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Cutie.
It's fun.
This is 72 stitches around, I think. If you're looking for like an adult small hat in hand spun, like chunky yarn, 72 stitches. Worked out pretty nice. Yeah. That's a little something I did to kill some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What comes next?
Do you have anything else that's finished?
No, I think that's all.
Well, I think it's just stuff we're working on then.
Cool.
Okay. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, talk about your little guy.
So I started something new, finally.
Something fun.
Something fun, something for me.
Something for me.
I started last night this project here. So I am making the electric sheep pattern. It is a free pattern by, I don't know how to say this name. I don't know how to pronounce it.
We'll put it down
Put
here.
it up so that I don't mess it up. But I just thought it was really cute that it is a free pattern. It's a new pattern too. It just came out in May.
Oh, nice.
And it's just now
nice.
June. So there's not a lot of project photos up. I will maybe like insert a picture of what it's gonna become.
Yeah.
But it's just a little like, I don't know, interestingly shaped shawl. It's got a lot of like zigzags going on with it, and it like changes between colors.
Yeah.
So it is a DK weight knit on 7s, which is refreshing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what a reprieve.
I mean, I started this last evening, like after dinner.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. I just finished section 2 of 5, so.
I love that the beginning of asymmetrical triangle shawls always looks like a pair of underpants.
That's what I thought when it was like real tiny. I'm like, is this?
This is
underwear?
lewd content.
What I am doing for this is I am holding a bunch of yarns together because it is DK weight and I have a lot of fingering. I'm using my yarn cones from Woolly Knit. They are British yarn cones, which means that they are made from Jacob, Shetland. I think it's also merino. I'm second guessing me saying Shetland. I think there's another S word that I might be confusing. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. But I did figure out like what breeds are making this, and all of their yarn from that website that's on this cone, they make a statement about how it's like traceable and museling free, which basically means like these animals aren't being treated poorly to receive this yarn, which is perfect for me because I want natural wools. So
yeah.
I have it in 3 different colors. So this is the jet black. This one is called dark gray. And then this one is fun. This one is called Skidoo Nep.
That's in there?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet.
I was like, what?
Not yet. But I just think it's fun that it has the little neps in it. Like, that's the kind of white mommy likes. It's like an off-white, it's like a cream, and there's like browns and blacks.
Very like multi-dimensional.
That makes me happy.
Flat.
So these are the cones that I am using. The pattern is going to start, so I'm using the dark gray and the jet black to begin, and that'll be like majority of what color this is going to be. In the pattern, this would be the lightest color that you're seeing, but I chose to make it my darkest because I have darker sensibilities with like the colors I wear. Then in the pattern, a medium color stripe kind of like details throughout. And for that, I'm going to actually use the jet black, which is my darkest, and the white.
Very nice. That's fun.
And then it would, in the pattern, move to the darkest color, which I'm going to make my lightest color, and I'm going to use these 2 together for that.
Very nice.
So it's going to be these 3 colors just held together differently to, I think it's going to create like a really interesting like marl and fade, since all the colors are intermingling in their own way and there's like little kisses of each throughout. I think it'll be really fun, and I don't want to say messy, but I love the way
Yeah.
it looks when there's like two yarns held together and you're just getting like a really chaotic mix of colors.
Well, and also, you'll probably won't be able to see it, but if you take a very close look at this yarn, like there is a fuzzy halo.
Right.
And when the fuzzy halo from one yarn mixes with the fuzzy halo of another.
I mean, you can see all the halo coming off this. Now, this probably feels awful to you.
It does. It feels horrendous.
It is a little, it's like tough. It's a tough yarn. I know it's going to relax a bit when I wear it, but for me, like, I don't think it'll matter.
Yeah.
But I think it'll make a nice shawl. I don't have a shawl that is just made out of wool. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be like a really nice option to have. I don't have a shawl that's like in this shape that's kind of like an erratic diamond. Mm-hmm. And we have been kind of talking about our festival wants and needs. And I think this is going to be something that I wear to that. I'm just very excited. I think this will be done very quick.
Yeah, I would think so too.
But just looking forward to
working on it.
Getting it done. I love that you can like see right through it. I think it's going to open to like a very loose, comfortable gauge.
I think that's going to be really nice.
And this is my first time busting into these cones, so like I'm excited to see how much I like this yarn because I bought a bunch of wool cones and it was like economical. Yeah. And if I enjoy the yarn, then that's very promising too.
Yeah.
But that's it. That is my knitting whip. Cool. That is what I have been working on. I don't think I have anything else to say about it.
That's a very worthwhile use of your time.
Thank you.
Nice little product, nice little process, you know. Mm-hmm. It's good to have both. You deserve to have a relaxing endeavor.
I don't like carrying all these cones around, but what I should say is just amazing is that I can fit 3 cones in this project bag.
Yeah, you want to flash that project bag real quick?
My Cottontail Farms project bag I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool that has 3 cones in it and a notebook when I'm not using it.
Dude, that's nice.
Isn't that crazy?
No joke.
It's no joke. Worth the buy.
Worth the buy.
But
love that.
That's the vibe right now.
Speaking of things that are worth the buy, we have a lot of stash business and prize business to talk about. We are quickly coming up on the end of the make-along. Is at the end of next month. It's at the end of July. Right. And just in the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of prizes come together really nicely. So I want to show you a little bit about that, a little bit of the stuff we got at Brienne's shop. We had so much fun there. Yeah, her shop is just absolutely stunning.
So beautiful.
So gorgeous.
I just keep thinking about why it's so beautiful, and it's because Brienne has such good taste, for one.
She does.
And you know how you walk into a yarn shop and you can tell that even a good yarn shop, you're like, they love this craft, but they're just buying a lot of stuff that you find everywhere. Yeah. Brienne has a bunch of small selections of very curated things, from tools that you would use to buttons to kits. Very specific yarns and kits for random things.
Drum carders. Where the hell else can you walk into a yarn store in Pennsylvania and just buy a drum carder?
I have a very hard time just here locally. I've had a very difficult time just trying to buy things like a Swift. Or buy a set of Chow Goos in person. Places don't carry stuff like that, and that's what you actually need. I don't need 27 different ways to pin it to the board. I need the tools to make the object. Yeah. Brienne has so many tools. I will say everything I got from Brienne's was a tool, actually, that.
Yeah, that's what you needed.
That got me. I know you got some yarn.
I indulged. Yeah, I got a bunch of cool stuff from Brienne's. Let me dig out my bag here, my Moon and Yarn craft room bag. Look at this freaking tote bag. It's so cute.
I love the big boxy tote bag she has made.
Brie always has the best tote bags. So let's start with I should probably take these out of here. They're getting smashed. They're all getting smashed.
Oh, did you just leave everything in the bag when you came home?
Yeah, of course I did. I'm just gonna tuck these under your iPad because they need to flatten out a little bit. I bought a bunch of stickers from Brienne. She has fantastic, adorable stickers, and then I promptly did nothing to stop them from bending. Oh, so first of all, this is not for me. This is for Pen Pen, but this is a special thing that not all yarn stores sell. This is an art yarn scrunchie from Sunnyside Up Crafts. Look at this. Isn't that cute? There's one of my hairs on it. Oh my god. But yeah, art yarn scrunchie, so fun.
I love
Give that a
those.
feel.
I love those.
Penny is my boyfriend's 9-year-old daughter. She is scrunchie queen of scrunchies. And she just walks around with them like as a fashion statement. Like it's like 1983, you know? Which I love. So I saw this, had to snag her one. There's like a little bit of locks in it, like a little bit of sparkle, which is cute. But I love seeing the entire like wire basket of all the different scrunchies. So adorable.
Yeah, because there's no two the same. Like,
No.
it was just a fun...
That's what I love about them. The bigger purchase I made for myself. So special. I got 4 Yes. 4 skeins of Mojave. It is 60% cotton, 40% linen. This is Kelborn Woolens, which Brienne has at her shop, like a very big selection of Kelborn Woolens. But this is some shade of gray that's closest she had to black. It is called, oh, number 25. It's called Slate Gray. Each one of these is, oh, she's bad. She put the sticker over the yardage. Oh, 185 yards. I think I read that wrong. I actually have a lot of yardage of this then in the 4 skeins.
Oh, did you think it was just like 85?
I thought it was 135, but that's pretty significant. But
That's
anyway,
good. You can make whatever you want then.
yeah. I got 4 skeins of this. I think this color looks nice.
I think that's a nice
Do
color.
you think so?
Yeah.
I'm always very scared about my departure from black, but this is nice.
Also, like, you know, summer. That's your brights.
Yeah, these are my brights. But this is very dreamy, like super nice yarn. It's sport weight, which is great. That's in line with like, I've really been trying to stay like thinner yarn in general so that it's easier for me to like, you know, keep similar things in my stash if I need to pair yarns or hold 2 together or whatever. This was also kind of like sport.
I just feeling this has cotton and that's just linen. I'm trying to.
Yeah. So this is like already soft. Like this is definitely next to skin soft. It will absolutely soften up too. I do see a garment out of this, not a shawl. I have a 100% cotton shawl and I get so much wear out of it.
What are you thinking about for that?
I don't know. I was thinking some kind of like even more scoop neck than this with like some lace work and maybe like even like 3/4 sleeves, kind of like a love note.
Yeah.
Something similar to a love note, but like not
Beaver
that.
neck, maybe.
Yeah. Or like just something with like a lot of interest around here. But I'm feeling the lace thing. I love the way that lace work knits look on me. And like the more I find what I'm liking, I'm really trying to like just hammer it home because I have a really bad habit of like not wearing knits. So anything I can do to like trick myself into being like, yes, this is the thing I grab for, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So something lacy, something like summery, sporty fun. There's something called the Mount, it's like the Mount Airy tee or something. I'll show it to you later.
Mounts.
I might just be like making shit up, but it's really pretty. Someone else just made it and I was like, oh, that could be fun. But yeah, I was so happy to scoop this up. We'll report back on this yarn. I really want to cast this on next. I have, now that I finished that doily, I have plans to finish my granny square blanket. I've identified how many squares I need to be done with it. So I'm going to work on that, really try to like finish it, knock it out. I think it'll be so nice as like a on the couch thing. But yeah, after that, I don't think I have any other like preconceived notions, so I would love to make something out of that. But I got those, and then that's for a prize. Oh, I got these 2 skeins of yarn. I was bad, and I have no intentions or ideas of what I'm gonna make with these, and I don't care at all. But Brie has a D-stash bin.
Oh,
Dude.
I know. I wanted to tear into that so bad.
The D-stash bin is something to behold. I got 2. I've never had Lemonade Shop yarn before.
I love those.
Aren't these fun? I love them so much. They are not my colors and they are not my yarn weight and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But I love them. Look how cute. Makes me want to scream.
Love stuff that looks like this.
I know.
I've got no business with it.
I was like, I'm in Brienne's house. I should just honor, you know, her by giving her money for this thing. And, like, now it's my problem. But I was thinking about this and maybe, like, getting color inspo from this one. How dang cute would this be as a hat with a little bit of, like, very subtle, like, color work?
Yeah.
No pattern, just like little flecks of black in it with a giant black pom-pom on it. I would wear something like that, you know?
Yes.
Some cute shit like that.
Like this stuff on color work with just black.
It was so good.
Like when I made those mitts for Brienne last year, that got a lot of my, like, rage, not rage, but whatever that feeling is, it got it out. That cute hostility,
yeah,
it got it out.
That's how I feel. This... I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Freaking bats!
Yeah, the colorway is called freaking bats! I just love it. So, just really nice, like, super wash, squish factor yarn, but these are so fucking cute. I had to have them. And then the other thing I got is for prizes, and I think we're gonna talk about prizes kind of like at the end, but that's my personal haul.
That's the personal haul.
That's my business. What else did I get from there? Oh, I do want to show off some of these stickers. I'm so sorry to, like, just throw your shit everywhere.
I thought you needed my iPad for some reason. I was going to give it to you.
Brie has an entire display of stickers, and I snagged a few for my toolbox at work. That's pretty much the only thing I put stickers on these days. But I got one of Haley N's North River Knits maker stickers. Adorable. So nice. A bunch from the Clever Clove. I'm thinking Curious Fawn, and I want to say Curious Clove, but it's definitely not that. Clever Clove. Look at this one. This makes me want to scream and freak out and have an episode. Adorable. Cute. This one, Home is Where My Stash Is. Ugh. Just a little hun bun. That looks like me. That's what I look like.
That looks like me.
Just rotund. And then, of course, this is the one that got, like, totally bent and messed up, but one of Bree's Moon and Yarn Craft Room stickers. Look how sweet. So cute. I just love them. They're very nice. All of these are fantastic quality. I'm very excited to add them to my little toolbox collection. They're so cute. But if you're, like, a sticker person, I know a lot of times when we go to yarn stores, like, there's always one trip where, like, you might not find any yarn, but you still want to leave with something.
Right.
She's got her little stickers.
Got a little something of everything.
Something for everyone. So, yeah, that's my personal stash. What did you find at Brienne's house?
I found so much. I want to say I regret that there was some yarn that was, like, what I was looking for that I didn't leave with, so we have to go back. So strap in. But I did buy a lot of tools. I'll start with the big thing that I bought, like the main money right here. I got a pair of Kromsky Carters.
Dude, this is big shit.
This is big shit. These are like big ballin' tools.
Isn't it funny that some of the nicest things that we possess, like next to the cars we drive, are like tools for yarn preparation?
Me and Ian were having a conversation. He's like, wouldn't you be upset if your very special thing was gone? And I was like, my cedar chest? And he's like, I meant like your car, but sure.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Not for the purposes of this conversation.
This is one of those things that I feel like you cannot find in yarn stores.
No.
I have been looking for some sort of tool to process my fleece that we've been talking about over the past few episodes, which I haven't gotten to work on yet because I wanted to make sure I had everything I need to do so.
Mm-hmm. And that we will later spin on the spinning wheel over your shoulder right there. Sock and I both like have this unspoken agreement that everything that we buy for like fiber processing and spinning and stuff is just like the Kromsky walnut.
Yes.
We're very on brand. We got a bunch of bobbins. We got these things. We got the wheel. Like,
yes.
We're a slut for consistency.
Well, I mean, like, come on.
It's gorgeous. Like,
it's
absolutely
timeless,
beautiful.
Is what it is.
The closest thing that we'll get to having like a brand new hardwood dining room table that we're like, yeah, This is the biz.
This is the biz.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So she actually had 2 sets of these. She had this, and she had the unfinished, I think, or like just the regular wood. So she had it in 2 color options. And I was like, well, all right, I'm just going to have to buy them then.
Twist my arm.
So these were my big purchase. I've been watching a lot of videos on how to maneuver these. I also feel like just very happy that I was able to get this from a friend and support a friend's business buying these. Like,
oh my God,
that meant a lot to me, to not have to like go online and find just some random company that sold them. Like the fact that she deals what we want.
Brienne sells, this may not be all she sells, but I know for a fact she sells Kromsky, Harrisville looms and stuff. And then
Harrisville design,
she has Brother drum carters. That I know for sure.
So if you need like somebody who is just like a sweet, genuine, honest person to help you make these purchases that are not cheap, you know, you can drive to Brienne's shop. I would recommend going down because she has some floor models available.
She's also working on a website that will be out like sometime in the future where you, like, everything that is for sale in the shop, like, you should be able to buy online too. So, like, I know Kromsky well enough that, like, if I were buying something like this and I knew that they came in, like, the walnut color, I would just confidently, like, order them online. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a seasoned professional, you obviously know that you can do that, but that'll be nice to have.
But especially stuff like wheels, like,
it's good to keep it in the family, you know?
Like, it's such an investment, and, like, it's also something that, like, I'm lucky enough that you have a wheel that I can use. But if you've never really sat at a wheel and you're not sure what you want, like, you might want to go somewhere where somebody can help you with that
and talk through it and
maybe
give you
even
options.
sit down and, like, get an idea of what they're like. So that was my big purchase.
Love that.
I also got, just since we're talking about the Kromsky, she has, I believe it's called the Fantasia line of wheels. I mean, she only has one wheel that I know of out on the floor. But the drop spindles and stuff, and that's where it's in all the, like, very pigmented, dreamy fashion colors. And of course, I had to get the black one, which is none of those things. But but she had just one black one sitting there with, like, pastels.
Little
and
guy.
And I was like, he gotta come home with me. So I scooped him out. But I'm very excited to have him because
so beautiful.
I really enjoy the drop spindle. It's not fast. Like, I don't, like, get anywhere doing it. Like, I'm not, like, flying through fiber drop spindling. But I do love just watching TV and just, like, taking a minute to spin, and I love him. He's so cute. I'm very excited to have brought him home. What else did I get?
Up here.
Oh, this
little guy.
This little lad. In hindsight, I'm not sure I needed this, but I feel like it's good to have and small enough of an investment.
I have one of those too. It is just good to have.
I just figured it was good to have. I had initially intended on buying combs to process my fleece, but when I saw Brienne had carders, I was like, I'm just going to do that. That's what makes sense to me right now. But when I was going to do combs, I thought I needed this, which it's a Diz, right? That's what it's referred to. So this is from Holland Hoof Farm store. So Brienne carried a bunch of different things that this store made, and they're like all little ceramic tools. So there were a bunch of these, and they were all different. And she also had a bunch of their buttons that I also got. And what you basically do is after you prep fiber, you like take a little bit of it and you pull it through these holes to create like a pin drafted little thing to spin from. So I just got that. Very sweet, very cute.
I've used that as part of like the I can't leave well enough alone. So I've done a few times. I've made a gradient yarn out of like a variegated braid. Okay. So I sit on the floor like a psycho, and I pull apart all, like, just naturally where the staple ends. I just pull every single piece apart into like something I can shove through there. Okay. And then you look at the pieces that are in front of you and you sort them into piles of like, this is a mostly red piece. This is a mostly blue piece. This is a mostly yellow piece. You make your piles, and then before I blend them together, I like ran some of them through that, like the really tough pieces, you know, to like kind of like beat it up a little bit. And that just made the fiber like softer overall. So like the blends were easier when I was doing it, if that makes any sense.
Right.
But you will use that.
Yeah, I'll use it at some
eventually.
point in my life. I don't know if I need it for this. I'll probably just make Rolags with the Carters. But I feel like it was nice to have. And again, it's like, this is not going to take up any space in my home where I'm like, I wish I didn't get that. They're just so cute, too. Like, it's just nice little artisanal one.
For your notions pouch.
For my notions pouch.
I think mine has like a little spider web on it.
Oh my goodness.
They're all very cute.
They are very cute. And then from the same maker store, Holland Hoof Farm, I also got this like super cute set of buttons.
They're
which,
beautiful buttons.
I cut off of their card and sewn onto this cardigan and then removed from this cardigan. So they're just in my button bag so I don't lose them. I will insert a picture of them laid out. But it was like such a beautiful like moon phase thing. So it starts with like a little crescent and then it gets larger and larger and then the bottom button is just a circle and it's also like ceramic and black. And I actually made my entire purchase at Brienne's and then sat down and was just hanging out with everybody. And just from people buying things, the button area got moved around and I saw them and I was like, hold on a minute. Hold on right there. And I had to like go up and make her check me out again because I just needed those buttons. So I'm looking forward to putting those on something in the future.
Yeah.
But
it's nice and sturdy.
Yep, I got all of those things. I also got a Weaver Fever tote. Weaver Fever tote that I didn't bring because I forgot. But I'm sure you've seen it before because Haley has had one forever and
they're always in like the background of our pictures and stuff. How does my hair get bigger? I mean, I'm like fluffing it. I just took out that bobby pin and it's
becoming engorged.
Don't say that word on this podcast. Foulness.
Unrelated slightly, but we had like a little super secret trunk show with Gail. Where
my god, a literal trunk show.
So during all of this chaos at Brienne's yard show, when people are like swarming in to buy stuff, we stepped out for a moment and Gail, who we've talked about a lot and is really into like vintage fashion and pinup stuff.
She's also a crafter, knitting, crochet, like she's so homey.
I think she most often sells handmade aprons online. I'll post her thing here so you can go see what she has.
It's in her Etsy store.
But she was like, you kids want any aprons? Like,
while I'm here.
And I'm like, yeah, I do. So we went to her trunk, and it's super out of season, but I just like couldn't help myself.
Who cares?
She had just like a pile of aprons, and I want to get up. And put it on because it's so cute.
Do it.
I'm in love with this Christmas apron she offered and bestowed on me. Something about me is I'm not a Christmas person. Like, I wasn't raised religious or any of that jazz, but I love just like festive nonsense. Like, I love
festive
Halloween.
nonsense.
I love Halloween, and I love like the red and green Christmas season stuff.
Dude,
whatever.
the cut of those aprons is like stellar.
How cute is this? How cute is this?
This is the same apron. If you've seen pictures of me tattooing in an apron, like I also get my apron fix from Gail. Like, absolutely recommend.
You know, these are probably the only Santas I would ever let into my home because they're like little mugs of hot cocoa. But there's cookies and cocoa
and little like sprigs
and just I can't wait.
It's all good fun.
I can't wait to just stand in the house and get into a big pickle making cookies with this on.
Stand in that apron with no clothes on for Ian.
But I just indecent.
Listen.
I just wanted to show that because I genuinely love this apron a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Megan was there too, and Gail was like, Megan, you want one?
She got one.
So funny.
It had like these little baubles on it. It was super funny. And Megan wore it like all day. She just like tied it onto her outfit, and she was just like, I'm in an apron now.
Gail makes custom aprons also. If you want one that's like that sort of cut, she has ones that are half size that are like just from the waist down, like with pockets. If you do like vendor markets or something and you want like a custom apron, or you can't like find one that you really love or whatever, like just hit up Gail. She's like the best.
So that is what I got from Brienne's.
Yeah.
I do have one more thing to just mention before we get into like prizes and stuff. Sammy of Big Knit Energy, she has a podcast where she also talks about all of her crafting and stuff. I believe she's from California. If I'm wrong, then oh goodness, you know.
Oh dear.
But we have been talking back and forth because she has been processing some fiber. She's really into spinning and stuff. And I am going down that road of processing fiber myself. And she was really sweet and kind, and she knows that I'm interested in like naturally black fibers to remove that step of dyeing. And she sent me some of the fiber she was processing. She has been doing what is it? It says April's wool. It's 11.3 grams of April's wool. I don't know if April is a person who's a farmer or if April is the sheep. I don't know, but either way, very cute. And it's a Jacob lamb. So it's just a little lady.
Can I like touch it?
You are actually going to be shocked, I think. It feels like a baby. It feels like Tater.
It does feel like Tater.
It is
Where are
incredibly
you?
soft.
Do you see? She's in a mood today. She doesn't care about me.
She's being very weird today. She
Rude.
usually is like, ee, and she's not.
This is like unspeakably soft.
Yeah, I was shocked because
I've never felt fiber like this.
when I felt other Jacob, like when I was in the fleece barn and all of that, it didn't feel like that. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that it's a lamb. But she was so kind as to like pick that out and like send it to me so that I can like sample it and try. So I'm really looking forward to spinning that up on the new drop spindle I got because it is such a small amount. I think I want to just do this by hand. Who knows? Maybe I'll make a little doily out of it. I don't know. We'll see how much we have.
Who knows?
But it's just beautiful, and I love it. And I am going to send her some of my Corriedale fleece when that is finally like combed and cleaned and ready to go. But how pretty
love
is
this
that?
like, you know, little fiber circle you've made. It's so cute.
I just think it's nice. I think yarn people are surprisingly just like. We're
Generous.
just so excited to have somebody be interested in what we're talking about that we're like, I'll give you anything. You want to come to my house? You want to have a snack? Like
people ask me all the time how we met, and I'm like, we met through like alternativepeopлекnit.com, basically. Vampire freaks, but for knitting people.
It's just nice that we live in a time where we can go online and find people that are kind.
Now I live here.
I love this, and I just wanted to talk about that. So her podcast is Big Knit Energy.
What a sweetie.
She probably goes into way more detail talking about this fleece. But I'm just so excited to like, because I was a little bummed that I didn't take home a Jacob sheep from Maryland Sheep and Wool, because that was the breed of the year. That was like the highlighted breed. And I just didn't, but now I get to sample this and I don't know, make something little and weird and special out of it.
It's cute.
But I just wanted to mention that before we got underway with all of our other nonsense.
The rest of the business.
The rest of the business.
Do you want to talk about some giveaway prizes that we have?
Yeah, what do we have?
We're not talking about these prizes in the sense that like this and this and this are one prize. Like we're just showing you guys some of the stuff that we've accumulated, and then we will like divvy them up into like
when we're ready
things that make sense.
Right.
We just want to like be able to look at everything like as a whole. So one of the special things we got from Brienne's shop is one of the skeins of Brienne's custom color from Mace of Skeins.
Oh, there it goes.
Look at it.
It's so cute. Look at these. Get that chunk of speckles in there.
Yeah, look upon it.
Oh,
see,
gorgeous.
And be seen. I just love it so much. So
those went so fast.
These sold out. Yeah, they're gone.
Like half hour in, the basket was almost empty, and I was like, Haley,
we gotta get one. Yeah,
because I even wanted to take home one personally. I'm sure you did too.
I did too, but I didn't want to be like greedy or whatever.
Right.
But when they come back, like I will be buying one of these for myself. This is another thing that I think would look fantastic with black in it, like next to it. You know what I mean? Like just so fun.
Reminds me of like a flower bed.
Yeah. Yes. Oh.
There's like speckles of red, green, yellow, purple, and then it's mostly that like yellow and blue. She did such a great job on this.
This particular base is Macy's Spade fingering weight. It's 75 superwash, 25% nylon, 463 yards. This is a nice skein of yarn. So we snagged one of these to throw in as one of the giveaway prizes, but these are only being sold at Brienne's shop. So it's not like this is an exclusive colorway, which is exciting.
Right, which is nice for somebody who maybe just like can't physically get there to maybe just get a little taste of brand, you know?
Yeah. So that's one thing that we picked up. And then I also set aside however many are here. I think there's 3 Lock Knits totes, but these are the last of the bags. They are completely sold out on my Etsy shop. These ones will just be like part of the giveaway things. So got some tote bags there, which is nice. What do you have?
I decided to bring some yarn from my like own personal stash that I've just been like looking to remove for my home, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful yarn. So I have some Lola Bean Yarn Co. here in these 3 very bright colorways.
Who doesn't love Lola Bean?
These were actually from a mystery box set that she did years ago for Alice in Wonderland.
Cute.
So this one is the Cheshire Cat colorway. What did she call it? My reality is just different than yours. It is on 100% superwash merino in sport weight. This one is off with their heads for the Queen of Hearts. And then this one is the Mad Hatter is what this one's called. So I just thought that these were like really fun colors that would kind of have the same energy that like Brienne's colorway had.
Like just vibrant,
like, vibrant spring fight.
There's rules.
There's rules here. I do like realize the irony in like try a new fiber, we're giving you a superwash, but like whatever, we're silly goofs, you know?
This is for like after you've tried your new fiber and you're like, I'm tired and sleepy now, give me the good, like the, you know, my comfort food.
Right. So I just figured we'd throw like each of these one per prize. Nobody's getting all of them, you know, keep it fair, but I just thought that would be really, I don't know, just fun. Something
sweet.
fun.
But yeah, they're coming together now.
Yeah.
Our little prizes and stuff. What was I gonna say? I think maybe depending on like how many entries we get and everything. How many entries we get, I'm gonna make some like custom project bags and stuff like that, but we're gonna try to like make it so that there's, you know, multiple people who get something, because that would be fun. But if you want to join the make along or see what other people are making, the hashtag on Instagram, it's an Instagram only make along, is hashtag freshfibermal, and there's a bunch of details and all that biz on the podcast Instagram page. But yeah, shaping up. There's a lot of fun entries. We have been pushing ourselves with it too, which has been awesome. That's the entire point. But it's crazy that this next month already is over.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Well, you got 1 full month here, and then, you know, 1 full month after that, so it's not too late to make something new. Yeah, fun.
Boop, boop. Alright.
But I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's like a holy miracle that we made it through this. I want to just sit around and eat.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be done. It's nice to sit and chat with you all and share, and I love you. But like, I'm excited to just like roll around and craft.
Yeah,
we haven't done that in a while. So.
Yeah, seriously, it really is like an absolutely gorgeous day here. There's like no, like it's not too hot. The sun is somewhere out there shining. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've heard these sweet little like bird chirps throughout the entire episode. So thanks for hanging. But we're gonna go be pieces of shit.
Yeah. Catch you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.